But yes, I'm practicing. So, like, yes, my mom is annoying, but it's fine.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Having a Mentee Be with Sarah and Kim. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Kim, and today we're here to talk about parenting.
All the craziness.
Yes.
We'd like to start by clarifying that we're by no means mental health experts. This is our own individual takes on our own mental health challenges because we've both been dealing with mental health since we were young adults.
Okay, so today's Minty Tea, Sarah. How have things been going for you these past couple of weeks?
I think I'm on the upswing.
Yeah, it does seem like it.
I feel like I'm probably operating at about a 6 out of 10 right now.
Okay, that's much better.
Yes, because before I would have said I was at like a 1 or a 2.
Yeah.
So I've been going to group, and oh my gosh, one of the therapists at the hospital showed me this app, and it is the coolest thing. So I have to show you.
Oh, the thing you sent me in
Yeah,
the text?
Finch.
Okay. Yes.
Oh my gosh. So peep my little peep.
Oh, that's cute. It is a little peep.
It's a
It's a
bird.
little bird.
It's a burb. And it has goals that you set for yourself. So, like right now, I'm doing one thing that makes me happy. So I can check it off. And it
Oh, and
gives
it
me
gives
an
you
affirmation.
Nice.
And then it also gives me points. And I can buy things in the shop. So it's kind of like a Tamagotchi.
Okay.
But do you remember
for
that?
adult stuff?
Well, that sounds dirty, but no.
Oh, no. I mean, like, adult responsibility.
Yes. So it is actually like, do you remember the meme that was like, Fitbits are like Tamagotchis, but the creature you're trying to keep alive is your stupid little self. So this is like
the same
concept.
type of deal.
Yeah.
But you have a cute little animal to look at.
And you can get like different outfits for it, and you can have friends, and like, so I have some friends from group, and they like send you affirmations, and you get points for sending them affirmations.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
It's a really positive thing.
So it's like a positive reinforcement as well for being positive.
Yeah.
That's
and it's
cool.
cute. And they go on adventures. Like your creature goes on an adventure. So today mine went on an adventure and discovered, what did she discover? Her name is Pickles, by the way.
Oh, that's cute.
She gained confidence today by going on her thing, and she discovered the other day, it tells you like what they discovered. The other day she discovered she did not like Baby Shark.
Oh, okay.
The song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Pickles also Sarah? Sarah, not like me, because I can tell you after so many years of listening to it, I do.
Pickles is her own entity.
Oh,
like
really?
She discovered that on her own.
So she's like got an AI brain type deal going on? That's cool.
So, yeah. Oh, and I have to tell you.
I feel Pickles.
You feel Pickles?
With the Baby Shark thing.
Yeah, me too. I drove on the freeway without having a panic attack for the first time this past week.
Like you went down the way you went the first time?
Yes.
Okay. What time of day was it?
It was about noon.
Okay.
No, it was like 1:30, but still.
Okay.
And I've started taking the freeway home.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is like huge progress for me.
Yeah, seriously.
And I showered twice last week.
Nice.
Twice.
Nice.
People are going to think I'm disgusting, but...
No, dude.
Dry shampoo and lots of deodorant.
Yeah. I will tell you, I only wash my hair about twice a week, and I never wash my hair with regular soap. I always wash it with conditioner.
Really?
Yeah, I don't use... Because my scalp is so dry. Like, if I use regular shampoo on it, it makes it look like I have dandruff, even though I just have dry scalp. So I only ever wash my hair with conditioner.
That's really interesting. I did not know that about you.
Yeah. It keeps it nice and moist up here. Probably the last thing you want to be on your head.
The last thing I want on my head is lice, if I'm being 100% real. But yeah.
But yeah, my scalp is nice and moist. Just
Good.
gonna keep saying that word.
You're making me cringe. And how is your mental health?
It's been pretty good. Like, it hasn't been bad or anything like that. I will say I went to therapy this week and we talked a lot about childhood events and like blocking out a lot of like trauma, like events that cause you trauma and how you kind of like disassociate from them. And so I talked to my therapist about like wanting to work through that. So we've talked a lot about doing EMDR in the past, like me and my therapist have. And we did it once, but we have never done it like hardcore. Like, we've never done it like a lot, which I know you have done.
But I dissociate, so it wasn't effective.
Right. So we're going to try it and see how it goes at my therapy session.
Nice.
And because she said, or what we're going to try to do is like work through some of the like events of my childhood that were traumatic, because I was telling her about that one story.
Yeah.
And talking to her about that and about how you and I had talked about how doing the podcast has kind of stirred some stuff up and stuff that I normally don't think about.
Yeah.
And so because it stirred it up, I'm having to think about it. And
why not deal with it if you're thinking about it?
Yeah. And also it causes me some issues. Like, when I'm thinking about, like, because it's been stirred up, I think about it a lot more. So like,
really?
Yeah, I don't know if I said this last time that we talked, but like, I will have a lot more nightmares about stuff. Yeah, and it will be directly related to like traumatizing events that happened to me as a child.
Dang, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I think it's actually a good thing, because normally I do disassociate from it. I just like don't think about it at all, and I don't want to think about it. So I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's the next level of growth.
Maybe. That's good,
We'll
right?
see.
Because part of doing the podcast was so that we could grow and heal.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Let's just try to work through some of this stuff. So might be a good thing.
Yeah. And my therapist bought a book on schemas that was recommended for me by the hospital.
Yeah.
And I'm going to work through some of my schemas with her.
Nice.
When I go back after I'm done with this hospital treatment.
Which are the schemas? Is that like the core beliefs? Is that similar?
Yeah. So like, I have my book here.
Okay.
Here's my feelings wheel.
Oh yeah, I have one of those too.
But my schemas are like my ones that I have identified as being like ones that I want to work on are defectiveness and shame, unrelenting standards, and approval and recognition seeking.
Oh, okay. So it's not necessarily the core belief, but it is like the thought process that surrounds the core belief, potentially.
Yeah. So like when we talk about guilt and shame or defectiveness and shame, the schema corresponds with the core belief that I'm unlovable because I'm flawed in some way, or that if someone really knew me, then they wouldn't want to be around me anymore.
Yeah.
People with this schema usually carry a lot of shame about who they are and will blame themselves for being a problem instead of having a problem. They often have a hard time understanding that just because they made a bad decision or have something bad happen to them, it doesn't make them somehow defective.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. So the other one that I really...
Oh, okay. Here we go. This page has a definition.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
A schema is a persistent pattern of beliefs that develops during childhood or adolescence and continues on throughout a person's life. Think of it as the glasses you see the world through. Okay, yeah.
So core beliefs, schemas.
Yeah, so it is, schemas, core beliefs, kind of the same situation. Okay.
So yeah. So, I mean, the good news is I've been learning a lot at group.
That's good. That's very good. And I will say, talking to you the past couple weeks, you have seemed a little bit better. You have seemed more positive and more like yourself.
I feel like I'm starting to be able to maybe manage my life again instead of wanting to check out.
Good. That's good news.
That's a positive trend.
That is a positive thing.
Yeah. All right. Is that it for the tea?
That is it for the tea today.
All right. Today on Having a Mentee Bee, we are talking with my oldest daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to talk about mental health and how that affects our kids. So, E, what do you think mental health is?
Well, I think mental health is how the state of mind is healthy, like how you think about yourself and like how healthy is your mind. It's as important as how healthy your body is because if you have bad mental health, it can affect your body too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And what does good mental health look like to you?
Good mental health means thinking good about yourself. It doesn't mean always being positive about yourself. It can be like sometimes you'll have bad days or other times you'll just have a rough day. But in the end, like as long as you have like a good state of mind in the end, you should be good. And like you think positive about yourself and you just don't think about like bad stuff.
Okay. What is it like to live with a mom who struggles with mental health problems?
Well, um, I think that it can sometimes be regular how it used to, and I think other times it can just be a little bit different because sometimes she's out doing mental health classes and I don't get to see her. Other times, she feels down about herself and we have to leave her alone and let her cope. But I think she still loves me and cares about me very much.
I do,
Mhm.
very much. How do you know your mom loves you?
I know that she loves me because she tells me every night. And she's doing the mental health classes to get better and she says it's for me and she makes me feel loved and at home even when our house was scaring me and I didn't like moving. She made me feel good about it.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No.
All right. So now we are here with Kim's daughter. Hello.
Hi.
And what do you think mental health is?
Something that somebody feels about themselves.
Okay, good. And what does good mental health look like to you?
Someone who appreciates how they look, how they feel, and how they think.
Nice. And what is it like to live with a mom that sometimes struggles with mental health?
It's kind of annoying because you have to help them a lot when you're doing something like, for example, like drawing. Let's say you're drawing or you're doing your homework and you realize your mom is having some problems or she asks you to help her. You have to stop what you're doing and go help.
Does that help your mom feel better?
Yes.
That's good. So you're a good helper?
Mhm.
And do you know your mom loves you?
Yes, and do.
You do? How do you know your mom loves you?
Well, she tells me she loves me every night before we go to sleep, and she she helps me pick out the clothes I wear, and when I feel bad about myself, she'll help me with it.
So, do you love your mom?
Yeah.
You have a great mom, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else you want to say?
Nope.
Okay.
All right, so today we are going to try to talk about parenting, or at least our experiences with parenting. So, Sarah, how long have you been a parent?
That's a great question. Since 2013.
Since 2013. Yeah, okay.
So, if I counted on my fingers, I think 11. She's 11.
Yes.
I'm really bad at math.
11 years. Mine is about to be 11.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So
They were just babies yesterday.
which I never thought about that before, but we've been parents for about the same amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Close to the same amount of time. And you have more kids than I do. How many kids do you have?
I have 2.
I have 2. Or you have 2. I have. I
Did
do
you?
not have 2.
I was going to say, did
I
you have
have
something to share with the group?
No child. I have 1 child.
Yeah. My kids are 11 and 8. So they're technically they like to remind me 2 years and 9 months apart, but I just consider them 3 years apart.
Right, yeah.
Um,
So I know. So we've talked about this before. Did you consciously decide how many children you wanted? Well, how many kids did you think that you wanted before you started having kids?
0.
Okay.
I wanted 0 kids.
See, I was the opposite. I would always be like, I want to have 11 children. Like, I always thought I wanted
Really?
a ton of children. Yeah.
You did?
Oh, yeah. When I was younger, I wanted to have at least as many kids as the family I grew up in, and we had 4.
We had 4 in my family also,
Yeah.
and I'm the oldest, if birth order means anything.
But when you were younger, you thought, I don't want to have any children.
In my 20s, for sure. I was
Yeah.
like, I definitely don't want to have any children.
Okay.
And then I met my husband and he wanted to have like 4. And in our prenup, we compromised and said 2 because we didn't want our child to be an only children because we both come from big families.
Mm-hmm.
And so like our siblings are really close to us.
Yes.
And so we wanted our kid to have a sibling.
Okay.
But-
So that was when you decided that you were going to have 2 children?
When we were hashing out our prenup,
When
yep.
you were hashing out your prenup. How did that feel? Just out of curiosity.
It was kind of weird, right? Because like we talked about things like money. We talked about things like naming rights. We talked about like,
Whoa.
yeah, like I kept my last name, but the kids got his last name, but they have one English name, one French name, one African
Right.
name, and then his last name.
Yeah.
We settled all that way before we had kids.
Did it feel when you were talking about like how many kids to have, did it feel very abstract at the time?
Oh, for sure.
How long after you got married did you have kids?
We got married in 2010 and she
Okay.
was born in 2013. So,
So about 3 years.
yeah.
My child was born almost a year to the day
Oh, really?
after my husband and I got married. Yeah, but we had been together for a long time before that.
So we were only together a year before we got married.
Yeah, see, my husband and I, we were together for 5 years before we got married.
So once you got married, you were like ready to move on.
We were ready to have children.
Yeah.
So as soon as we got married, we started trying for a child. And
Oh, wow.
I got pregnant about 3 or 4 months after.
Wow.
After.
Did you consciously decide how many kids you wanted?
No, because like I said, I wanted to have a ton of children. Like that was always my dream, is to have a big family, because like you just mentioned, I came from a big family and I'm close to my family, well, most of them.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wanted that for my own children. It wasn't until after I had a child that I thought, whoa, this is a lot harder than I thought
Yeah.
it was going to be. And then kind of I thought that I wanted to have another child. I mean, like, I still think about it even to this day.
You do?
Yeah, I do still think about it to this day. I don't know if I could have another child now, but
I mean, you're, 5 years younger than me?
I'm 37. I'll be 38 this year.
Okay. So you would
So
be...
potentially, but I'm not sure.
You would be what they call a geriatric pregnancy.
pregnancy. So
hypothetically.
I've thought about it, but I will say that, like, even after was born, I saved all of her stuff because I was like, oh yeah, we'll have another kid. And then 1 year turned to 2, turned to 3, turned to 4, and I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And I just kept not being ready for it and I will say that it 100% had to do with my mental health. Like 100%.
I will 100% say I was not ready for that second child. The second child pushed me over the edge.
Yeah.
I love my second child.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal. I'm glad I have her. But if I hadn't felt contractually obligated to, I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I know what you mean. Like, I blatantly decided not to because I was worried about the effects that it would have on my mental health and the effects that it would have on my ability to parent the one that I do have. So I know I know where you're coming from, I think.
So that leads us to our next question. Like, what has been the most challenging part of being a parent?
For me, I think the most challenging part of being this is going to sound so crap, but like the most challenging part of being a parent, like, is the parenting part of like knowing that that you have to raise this human being to be a good person. And like so you have so many like hopes and dreams and thoughts and feelings about like you want to do the best that you can.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
you don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
At least for me, because and I'm sure you can relate to this because how we were raised, you haven't exactly been given a model, so you're kind of just flying by the seat of your pants
Correct.
of like what good parenting looks like.
Well, mine is I feel like my early parenting was very reactionary
Yeah.
and very much the pendulum, like, oh, if my parents did this, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I think mine too. Like, spanking was a big one for me.
For sure.
That I was like, I am never going to spank my child ever.
I said that to my husband also. And then when I would swat my kids on their butt, he would be like, you said you weren't going to spank them. And I was like, I'm not spanking them. Spanking to me is being whipped with a belt 7 times.
Right, is like actual physical beating.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Like
same for
swatting
me.
my kid on their butt because they rode their tricycle in the street is like getting their attention.
Yeah.
But also, I regret doing that.
I know what you mean. Like anytime that I have, because I've done that too, but I will say, like, I can count on one hand the number of times that I have swatted my child on the butt with an intention for it to be a punishment.
Yeah.
But I do swat her on the butt sometimes, just like as a joke. Like when she's smarting off or something, I'll be like, whoop-ha, or whatever, like as a joke. But I felt guilty every single time I've done it and
Absolutely.
apologized to her because of it. But yeah, I would say the most challenging thing has been because I didn't necessarily have a model of what I wanted to be as a parent to work off of.
Yeah.
I have been kind of flying by the seat of my pants. So mine will be, like you said, very pendulum. Like I will get really mad, but then like feel really guilty. And sometimes I really struggle with what that middle ground looks like.
Yeah.
What about you?
Gosh, I think for me, the hardest thing has been realizing that they are their own people.
Oh, yeah.
They're not me. They're not
Yeah.
little me's, even though they remind me so much of me, that they are their own person.
Yeah.
That's been really hard lately. I have a preteen.
Oh, especially as they get older, that gets so
Like,
rough.
She's so much like me. And so I want to be like, okay, when I was that age, I wanted this, or I wanted to be treated like this.
Yeah.
And their dad has to remind me, like, they're not you. They're their own person.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
I will say, as my daughter also becomes a teenager, which she's also in that preteen phase, something I'm starting to notice more and more is how much alike we are with our like stubbornness. Like
Yay.
we're both very stubborn, and that has not been fun.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Because also, like, maybe I'm speaking for myself. I'm definitely speaking for myself here. I don't want my kids to feel coerced to do things in the same way that I did.
Yeah.
And so I try to like justify and rationalize as much as I can, to the point where I probably do it too much when I'm trying to get them to do something.
Yeah. I think I used to I don't know. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at that, but I also do that a lot and did that a lot, because to the point now where anytime I ask my daughter to do something, she always asks me why.
Yeah.
And I've realized that it hasn't become a why because she wants to know the answer. It has become a why because she thinks that that gives her ammunition to argue against what I am trying to ask her to do.
Oh, man. And like at the end of the day, I just want my kids to be good people and do the right thing because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I think they'll get there.
I think they're on the right track.
So we've talked about what's the most challenging. So what has been the most positive thing or the best thing about being a parent?
Just like watching them evolve as little humans is so much fun.
Yeah. Like, oh my, like when they first walked, like, oh my God, they're walking. Or like,
I'm not a little kid parent. Like,
okay, so like,
for me, it's like hitting milestones like, oh my gosh, we can have an actual conversation about
Yeah.
something.
yeah, like
Yeah.
a back and forth where they can come up with like legitimate, rational arguments to whatever it is you're talking about.
Like, don't ever tell my daughter I said this, but my 11-year-old has started roasting us, and it is the funniest thing. I die.
She was doing that earlier.
She is so funny.
Were you recording when she was doing that?
No, I
You
wasn't.
should have been. That would have been funny.
I know. Like, don't get me wrong. I like going back and looking at the little videos of them toddling around and
Yeah.
listening to their baby voices. But I wasn't happy being a parent at that time.
Yeah.
So that doesn't spark the same joy that this does.
Yeah, I get that.
What about you? What's some positive things about being a parent for you?
I think one of the best things is seeing something happen, and this is going to sound so cheesy, but like knowing I broke the cycle, if that makes sense.
For sure.
So like, for example, or my daughter will come to me and she'll like tell me about something that happened at school. So like in her interview, you know how she was saying like, Mom, when I don't feel good about myself, sometimes mommy will help talk me through it. So
Yeah.
we do that a lot. And so like she'll tell me about something that happened at school, and I'll try to remind her like, you are not responsible for anybody else's feelings or whatever. And then like, so I remember one time I was talking to her about something like that, and I said, well, did you remind yourself that you're a good person and you're trying your best? And she was like, yes, Mom, I already did that. And I was like, oh my God, I never would have thought to do that for myself when I was that age, because I didn't think
Yeah.
I was a good person. I thought I was the worst at that age because that's what I'd been told.
I mean, I still struggle with that idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. But it just, like, I would say that's one of the best things about being a parent. Well, like for me, I mean, obviously there's all like the normal parenting stuff that like I'm proud of as well. But I think one of the coolest things for me is like seeing something like that happen and knowing like, okay, so I did make it a little bit better for the next generation or whatever, hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so too.
Um,
Well, so that leads us right into the next question. So has your own childhood affected how you raise your children? I feel like we're kind of talking about that right now.
I feel like we have talked about that too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, are there things that you are specifically sensitive to because of how you were raised? Like you were talking about the pendulum. Are there like specific things that you're sensitive to, or that you feel like you don't necessarily react to in a rational way because of how you were raised?
Oh, for sure. And I think my kids could tell you probably better than I could what my triggers are.
Yeah.
But I think I actually bought and read the parenting book that my parents used to read when I was a
Yeah.
kid. And I could not disagree with it more fundamentally,
Yeah.
you know? And so it was a religious book. So it was talking about the umbrellas, right?
Yes.
I disagree with the umbrellas.
Yeah.
It was talking about how the most important thing for the mother is to be submissive to her husband. That's like a curse word to me.
Yeah.
It was talking about how you should spank your children not through a thick material, but through a thin, like their underwear or just something until it hurts and their cry changes.
Or on their bare bottom.
Or on their bare bottom, yeah. And you had to do it enough so that it actually hurt them physically. And it said there was like a comment about how bruises heal, but a bad attitude is forever. And I just could not disagree with that more.
Well, it just kind of proves that, like, whoever wrote that book didn't look much into psychology, because we know from multiple psychological studies that it's actually the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Is that if you are using physical abuse to try to control how your child behaves, that's a short-term solution, not long-term, and it actually leads to underdevelopment of their hippocampus and extreme aggression, sadness, depression, all of those things when they get older.
Yeah. So knowing all of that, like, helps me understand where my parents were coming from.
Yeah.
And then helps me understand better, like, where I am now. But part of me is still reactionary, right? Like,
Yeah.
because we talked about the spanking thing before, right? Because my parents spanked me, I was like, I'm not going to do that to my
Yes.
kids. I haven't read any parenting books because I just haven't.
Yeah.
Did you ever read any?
No. My mom gave me some, but I never read them.
I didn't even read I won't tell her. I didn't even read the What to Expect books.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that she got me, was the What to Expect. And then there was like, I hate these books, but like the 10 Habits of Highly Effective Parents or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I hate that entire series, but whatever. There was something you were saying, it made me think of, like one of the things I think that I am sensitive to. Oh, well, not like necessarily like specific thing, but I will find myself sitting around feeling guilty for being a bad parent sometimes. Just like sitting around, like something will happen, and maybe it's just like a normal thing, like for other people. Like it's like your kid comes in and smarts off to you, and you're like, I don't know, maybe you like smart off to them back or whatever, say
Yeah.
something ridiculous to them back, and it's just like a stupid thing. But then like I'll find myself sitting around like feeling guilty for like every tiny little mistake that I feel like I make as a parent. So, and I think that is directly related to how I was raised, because I don't think I would think twice about it if I wasn't a little bit, like you said, reactionary to like, and wanting to be, or being like, I want to do things so different than what my parents did.
I will say one thing that I've noticed that I struggle with a lot is feeling like I need my kids to live up to my parents' standard when they're with my parents.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
But then that's not how they're being raised, right? So, like, my parents were like obedience at all costs.
Yes.
I don't want compliance for compliance sake. Do I want compliance if I'm asking you to do something? Like, there's generally a reason why, right?
So that's something I've kind of noticed, though, is like I don't ever have to worry. I have to worry about my parents more than I have to worry about my child.
I do worry about my parents.
Yeah, like I know that my child is going to that standard of like, because at the end of the day, it's all about like doing what you're asked, right? And my daughter, she'll do what is asked of her as long as it's not something that's like,
as long as it's reasonable.
right. Yeah. Like, so it has actually a better effect, I feel like, because it takes away the like animosity that's there. But like, because she's been raised with like kindness and somebody explaining to her why things are happening the way that they're happening,
Yeah.
that most of the time she's able to see the consequences of an action. And so if my mom asks her, like she went over there to help with the garden one day, like she volunteered to go over
Oh,
there and
wow.
help my mom with the garden, with her cousin, her older cousin. And my mom was like, yeah, she was a good little helper. She didn't argue about any of it. Like I asked her to pick up these sticks and she did it without arguing. And like, well, like I don't know. She doesn't really like, I feel like if she understands why something is being asked, she doesn't really argue for them against it.
Yeah.
And she's good at ignoring some of the other stuff too. So like I think I told you, like sometimes they'll talk about things that I don't necessarily agree with, and my daughter knows how to just be like, okay.
I think that's a skill that my daughters are also developing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where I was going with that. Are you afraid that your child is also going to have mental health challenges?
Yes. I'm afraid of it every day. And I think about this a lot lately about
Really?
like nature versus nurture, and like how much of it is genetics and how much of it is me, like, and how I'm raising my child. Because this is something I've talked with my therapist about. Because, and this is, okay, so I'll just tell you what my therapist says about it. My therapist says, even if it is genetic and your child will end up with depression and anxiety just as bad as what you have, or with OCD just as bad as what you have, you are at least modeling for her the way for her to help herself and to get treatment for her mental health challenges.
Yeah.
Which is very reassuring to me, because I guess that's true. Like I'm showing her, okay.
You're showing her resiliency.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. But I struggle a lot thinking about like how much of it is my parenting and how much of it is going to happen regardless, because I am starting to see symptoms of anxiety in my kid. And she's a preteen at this point. And so she's just starting to get like hormones, like female, like grown woman hormones.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that is like budding some of it.
So she's starting to go through puberty.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was trying to say. She's starting to go through puberty. And I'm starting to see like symptoms of that like anxiety that I have as an adult. But I will say, like, when I was her age, I definitely had anxiety like that, but I could not have put a name to it. So the fact that she's at least self-aware enough to know like, hey mom, I have anxiety. Can we talk about this?
Yeah.
Like that's important.
Yeah.
So what about you?
That's something that's heavy for me too.
Yeah.
Especially right now when I'm going through a mental health
Yeah.
challenge, like
How is
it's
it going
so
to affect?
it's so heavy for me
Yeah.
because A, I know how hard it is to be me right now. And B, I don't know what kind of impact it's having on my kids.
Yeah.
And I struggle with that. Like, are they going to remember the happy mom that did fun things with them? Are they going to remember the depressed mom that was in bed until 2:00 on a Sunday because she couldn't get out of bed?
Yeah, I worry about that too.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I'm probably scarring my children in different ways than I'm scarred, but hopefully I'm going to show them also what resiliency looks like. And like your therapist said, hopefully they'll know how to help themselves or
Yeah.
at least where to go to look
Like
for
you're
help.
giving them an example of, because it could be genetic. I mean, I'm sure there's a certain amount of it that is genetic.
Sure, my
Right.
grandpa was bipolar.
Yes. And when I look back through, especially the female side of my family, my grandmother had depression, my mom has depression, both of my sisters struggle with depression, and I have it too. So like I think there's a very good chance that some of that is not going to be some of that has nothing to do with your parenting at all. It has to do with the genes
The
that your
hormones
kid
in
got.
your head
Yeah, exactly.
or the chemicals in your brain.
The way that your brain is producing chemicals. And some of that, some of the way your brain produces chemicals is directly affected by how you're raised, but some of it is not. So I do think that, maybe there'll be a time when you are an older woman and your child is going through something similar to what you're going through now, and you will have saved her life because you showed her the right way to handle it or to reach out for help.
I hope that she doesn't, first and foremost. But I
hope
also
that she doesn't either.
But that gives me hope too.
Yeah. And I will point out to you as well that when you were interviewing your child that she said she knew that you were doing it because you loved her.
That actually surprised me and made me happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know that I feel qualified to give advice to parents who have children with mental health challenges.
Maybe it was supposed to be parents who have mental health challenges that have children. Maybe I wrote that question wrong.
I don't know. But I think like either way, mental health is valid, right?
Yeah.
Like
I think getting treatment, going to see a therapist, getting on medication. I don't think there's anything wrong with any of that stuff. It's the same as if you had a physical disability.
you can't walk off a broken leg.
Right, exactly. Like what's the difference between having a diagnosis of, I don't know, like having a diagnosis of like cerebral palsy where you need to use a wheelchair and use grab bars and things like that. What's the difference between that and like having a mental
needing
health disorder?
SSRIs.
Yeah, and needing to take an SSRI or having built-in alone time and sensory things in your house because your brain doesn't
just needs
work.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though I will say, I will address this question a little bit just because, like, I don't know that my mental health challenges are because of how I was raised, or I think some of it is obviously genetics. But one thing I would say is have patience because it could be that your kid is struggling with something. And I think a lot of times, I'm not saying that parents don't love their kids, because a lot of times a parent might be having their own mental health thing and they're so wrapped up in their own, like just trying to survive themselves, that they forget some of that other stuff because they are literally in survival mode. And I think sometimes that's maybe what happened. Like when I was growing up, is that my parents were just trying to survive day to day. And so maybe they forgot about some of the other stuff. But one thing I would say is to just have patience. Like your kid is probably not purposefully trying to get on your nerves, or they're just a kid.
Yeah, they're learning and trying. And there was a meme that like really spoke to me when my kids were a lot younger that I need to remember now. That said, my kid's not giving me a hard time. My kid is having a hard time.
Yes.
And that was my mantra for a long time. And I think like it's so true, right? Like my kid wasn't having a tantrum because they wanted to make my life miserable. My kid was having a tantrum because they were overstimulated.
Right, yeah.
You know, my kid is not grumpy and sassy because they want me to be miserable.
Yeah,
my
they're
kid,
not like purposefully trying to be annoying to you or something.
Or like yesterday, my kids went snow tubing.
Yeah.
with their dad. I did not go. That was too much. That was too people-y for me.
Yeah. Also outsidey.
Oh, so outsidey. Yeah, neither of my kids were shocked I didn't go, but they
Yeah.
had fun. But my youngest daughter was terrified, and they thought she was just hangry. Turns out she was scared.
Yeah.
She cried all the way down the first time, then realized, like, oh, it wasn't that bad, and then was in a better mood.
Yeah.
Her dad's patient and worked with her instead of like just snapping and
Yelling at her, like, get
Yeah.
in the tube, just do it.
Yeah.
You wanted to come. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just having patience and even taking breaks yourself as a parent. Like if you can feel yourself reaching a point where you can't have patience, just walk away from that for a minute.
Yeah. I think the patience thing, it's hard.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that I feel like I've struggled a lot with my job is because I use all my patience at work and then I don't have any left for my biological children.
For sure. I remember what that was.
Would you describe yourself as the primary parent?
I'm not sure I know what that question means. What does that mean?
Like, do you carry the mental load?
Yes. I would describe myself as the primary parent.
Okay.
Why do you not feel like that's you?
I would say I used to be, but I think my husband is the primary sports parent and I am the primary educational parent. So, like, he manages and handles all of their schedules and social life and stuff like that. And I handle school stuff. Yeah. So, what does your parenting mental load look like? Because you're the primary parent.
Yeah. Well, I would say yes. So for me, I would say
Remembering all the appointments?
yeah, like, well, I was trying to decide if we were talking like mentally or if we were talking about just like in general. So yeah, like remembering the appointments, remembering who had or like practice for things, remembering what the number for the school is, remembering who her doctor is, who her dentist is, where the doctor's office is, remembering her doctor's names, her specialist names, remembering dates for stuff, remembering, I don't know, literally remembering anything. Like, I'm definitely one of those parents that, like, if the school called my husband, he would have to call me to get the information, probably.
Okay. So you are the default parent.
I would say, yeah.
I would say I used to be the default parent, and my husband and I split up 6 years ago, maybe. I don't even remember anymore. But he really wanted to have 50-50. And I
Mhm.
was like, you don't even know what they like to eat.
Yeah.
And he fought me on it and became a really good involved dad. And now we're back together.
Yeah.
So obviously. Well, I guess not
That's
obviously.
interesting.
But he had to learn a lot of things. And now I'm the one that's like, oh, crap, what's their teacher's name? Like, what was her teacher's name in first grade? And he's like, oh, yeah, that was Mrs. So-and-so. And I'm like, oh, crap, I can't remember crap right now.
Yeah.
My mental load is more like when they have a choice between parents, they usually default to me. And I'm the one that takes sick time to be with them
Yeah.
if they're sick.
Same.
But when my husband is around, like he buys all of their sports stuff.
Yeah.
I buy all of their school stuff. We both put our stuff on the calendar so the other person knows, right? So like I generally do doctor's appointments, but we both go to parent-teacher conferences. We both if there's a special appointment for something, we both go. Because it's important to
Yeah.
him to be involved.
I will say my husband also goes, but I would be like the one remembering when it is and where it is.
Yeah. If it's not sports, he's not as rememberable.
Yeah.
Rememberful, his memory's not as good.
Yeah, I would say my husband goes to all that stuff because he does want to be involved in our child's life. But I would be like the one responsible, like you mentioned parent-teacher conferences, like for parent-teacher conferences. He's not going to know when that is. I'm just going to be like, hey, parent-teacher conferences are on Tuesday. And he'll be like, all right, what time? Are we going together? Or am I meeting you there?
All right. That makes sense. One of the things that we do that I find helpful is like usually every night we'll talk about like what's our schedule for the next day. And so we're like, okay, then we used to try to do it for a week at a time, and that was too much
For your schedule?
for our schedule.
Okay.
But like we'll be like, okay, what does your day tomorrow look like? Okay, I have
Yeah,
A,
we
B,
do
and
that.
C. You have A, B, and C. The kids have D, E, F, and
Yeah.
then we like decide who's gonna do what.
So one of the things that has been really challenging with us both having jobs where we can work from home now is the scheduling thing,
Yeah,
because we both work jobs that are about 40 to
Ish.
45-ish minutes away from our house.
yeah,
So, and our daughter has, obviously has to be in school by like, I don't know, whatever, like about 9-ish and gets out about 4-ish. So, that daily, having a conversation daily where we're like, okay, do you have meetings tomorrow? What time are your meetings? Do you have to go
Yeah.
to the office first thing in the morning? Who's picking her up? Who's dropping her off? Has been very important. That has kind of made things a little bit more, I wouldn't say, well, I don't know. It's made some things good because
Has it improved your communication? Like by necessity?
Yeah, maybe. But I also think like one of the things it has done is like we don't need a babysitter very often,
Okay.
like almost ever, because we work from home and we can kind of like move our schedules around. So
I mean,
that part
that's
of it has
nice.
been good. But the part of it that has been bad is that we like, because it's just a lot. It's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
Like if I tell him like, oh, next Thursday I have a meeting at 4:00, so you're gonna have to be here at 4:00, he is not gonna remember that by the next week. Like we'll have to talk about it on like Tuesday or something as well.
Do you have a family calendar that you put stuff on like that?
We do have a family calendar, but not that we put work stuff on. We put like other stuff on there, but not like work stuff.
Say like we put stuff on there. I would just put like he'll put like softball meeting or
Yeah.
something so that I know that he's not going to be available to do XYZ. I don't know. Not trying to tell you how to live your life.
We do that for like extracurricular stuff. I just never thought about doing that for like work stuff. Maybe we should for work stuff. That would be really confusing though, because I have so many meetings throughout the week, and like having
only if
to
it
sync
impacts your
like the days that
family.
I'm going to be home or something.
Yeah.
I have to think
'Cause,
about
like,
that.
If it's I don't know, because we'll be like he'll be like, it's been on the calendar for 3 weeks now. And I'll
Yeah.
be like, oh, I didn't check.
Yeah.
But it actually saves us from a lot of arguments. So,
Yeah.
or
That's one thing I will say. We don't usually argue about it.
that's good.
He'll just be like, oh, I have a meeting at 4:00 too. I'll be like, well, I told you about it last week. And he'll be like, well, I wasn't going to remember that from last week. And then we'll be like, okay, well, what are we doing to make sure that our kid gets picked up?
Yeah.
That's one thing that medication and therapy has helped a lot with. I don't argue with my husband that much anymore. I mean, like we do, but we don't
Congratulations.
have like knockdown, drag out fights. Like
You
we
guys
used
had
to.
like major fights.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's it for this episode of Having a Mentee Be with Sarah and Kim. We wish you good mental health, and we hope you'll meet us here again next time. Don't forget to like or subscribe or leave a positive review or whatever it is you do for podcasts.
We hope you have heard something in this episode that you have connected with and you've been mildly entertained. If you are dealing with your own mental health challenges, we both encourage you to reach out to a trusted provider or call or text 988.